Jeff East is a former child star known for two iconic roles. Those roles are Huckleberry Finn and Superman, both of which he portrayed during the 1970s. As with so many others, Jeff's success as a child star didn't last. Still, the actor doesn't have bad feelings about it. He retired from acting in the late 80s and now lives in France with his wife, though he isn't above sending out video messages to fans for $25 a pop. Join Factsverse as we explore what happened to Jeff East, the original Huckleberry Finn. Jeff East was the original Huckleberry Finn. Jeff was born on October 27, 1957, in Kansas City. Neither of his parents had connections to showbiz, but the family moved to California when Jeff was entering his teen years, and it was here that he entered into the entertainment industry. Jeff has 3 siblings, one of them is his twin. Jeff East claims it was a major transition for him when he first began working on the film Tom Sawyer. It was a United Artists production, and it became a big hit for the studio. The success even yielded a sequel. In both films, Jeff played Huckleberry Finn. Tom Sawyer was released in 1973, while Huckleberry Finn was released the next year. The first film was based upon the Mark Twain novel The Adventures of Tom Sawyer, while the second film was based on the author's follow-up novel, The Adventures of Huckleberry Finn. Both novels were released in the latter half of the 19th century, just under a century before the films. Tom Sawyer also featured a young Jodie Foster, only years before her controversial appearance in the counterculture classic Taxi Driver. Though Jeff's dual performances as Huck Finn in the 1970s projects marked the beginning of his career, it sadly also marked the peak. He wasn't able to find many significant roles in the industry after coming of age. The last major role he received came when he was 20 years old. Several years after his performances as Huckleberry Finn, he was cast in the role of a teenage Clark Kent in the film Superman the Movie. Jeff East played a teenage Superman. Superhero films were a relatively new phenomenon when Superman the Movie came around in the late 70s. Superheroes had graced cinema screens for years in the form of serials, but these weren't seen as very serious fare in comparison to what Hollywood was offering in the age of the blockbuster. Superman the Movie was aiming to be something different, trying to be more of an event film than a piece of serialized children's entertainment. Director Richard Donner helmed the film and had some fairly impressive names attached to it. The producers notably put down a good deal of money to get prestigious actor Marlon Brando to play the small part of Superman's father. Meanwhile, Jeff East was the actor tasked with playing the role of Superman when he was young. Although Jeff's role in the feature was incredibly small, Richard had him learn a great deal about Superman's lore to play the younger iteration of the character. 20-year-old Jeff put all his effort into the research, knowing his role in the feature could potentially pay off if the film was a success. Sadly, although the film was successful, it didn't do much for Jeff's career. Jeff was incredibly excited about the opportunity to play the character of Superman, even if it was only for a short amount of screen time. This excitement gave way to incredible disappointment when Jeff realized that director Donner had Christopher Reeve dub over all of his lines for the film's final cut. Before we tell you more, be sure to give this video a like and subscribe to Factsverse if you haven't already. Superman the Movie didn't help Jeff's career. Though Jeff had been the star of his own hit movie only years prior, the actor's coming of age had made him a much different person by the time 1978's Superman the Movie came around. Jeff understandably saw his role as a young Clark Kent in the film as his opportunity to prove to the world he had what it took to make it as an adult in the acting world. Sadly, Jeff ended up being severely underutilized in the feature. After all the extra work director Richard Donner had Jeff do, he was barely featured in the movie. Not only that, but the scenes that did feature the 20-year-old actor had his voice replaced with Christopher Reeves, who played the character as an adult for the rest of the film. Richard's reason for replacing Jeff's voice was tonal consistency, and he had nothing against Jeff personally. Neither did Christopher Reeve, who was simply doing his job. But Jeff was incredibly hurt by having his voice dubbed over, and he held a grudge against both Richard and Christopher for decades after. Superman the Movie was a major success, though Jeff didn't see much of a boost in popularity as a result. Jeff had grown up so much during the period of time in between Huckleberry Finn and Superman that he was essentially unrecognizable, and audiences were much more fixated on the adult Superman anyway. Superman the Movie's success paved the way for 3 sequels, all of which were slightly inferior. None of these sequels found room for Jeff East, who struggled for work over the course of the 80s. Jeff East continued to try his hand at acting during the early 1980s, though he retired later in the decade and went into real estate with his father. Some of the films he appeared in over the course of the 80s included the cult classic horror film Pumpkinhead, which was the directorial debut of special effects artist Stan Winston. And while Jeff held a grudge against Christopher Reeve for dubbing over his lines for 2 decades, he did squash the beef with the actor before Christopher's 2004 death. Christopher became paralyzed not that long after portraying Superman for the 4th time in Superman 4: The Quest for Peace. After his paralysis, Christopher Reeve started the Christopher Reeve Foundation. In 2001, Jeff attended an event to help the Christopher Reeve Foundation raise money. This marked the point where Jeff and Christopher were finally able to put the past behind them. Jeff gave his all to the role of Superman. In addition to researching the character's lore far more than he needed to, Jeff was also forced to wear a prosthetic nose for the role that took several hours a day to put on. It took 4 hours each day, even though his scenes only represented a fraction of the final film. This goes to show how much work was put into Superman the movie to make it stand out from previous superhero fare. Jeff also had to wear a wig in the role of Superman, which didn't help much when it came to the actor being recognized for his part in the successful movie. At the end of the day, Jeff gave his all to the production, and few people even noticed he was in it. But it's undeniable the work he contributed to the picture played a big part in the film's overall success. Jeff can perhaps be seen as the unsung hero of Superman the movie. Jeff also did many of his own stunts during filming, which almost resulted in him getting injured and killed. In the late 80s, he retired from show business and got into real estate with his father. In the 2000s, Jeff took over his father's company. Nowadays, he's living in France with his wife, though he loves reliving his glory days by sending personalized video messages to fans for $25 a pop via the website Cameo. Now it's time to hear from you. What's your favorite memory of Jeff East? Let us know in the comments section below. And before you go, make sure you give this video a like and subscribe to FactsVerse if you haven't already. Click the bell icon to stay updated on all our latest content. By the way, if you haven't joined FactsVerse as a member yet, be sure to look below this video and click the join button. By becoming a paid member of FactsVerse, you'll get access to exclusive video content that you won't find anywhere else. This includes some of our more mature content that isn't suitable for public audiences, which includes topics like Hollywood actresses who posed for Playboy and some of the steamiest moments in movie history. Plus, you can enjoy these videos completely ad-free. Our biggest fans will notice they also get badges next to their name when they leave comments on our videos. We pay special attention to comments from our members, and so do other viewers. So if you want exclusive content from FactsVerse or inside access to discussions with other community members, click the join button to get started for just $4.99. There are hours of members-only videos waiting for you, with new videos added every month. And we're actively working on bringing even more features to help fans like you connect with other members and get more of your favorite content. Just click join, and we'll see you inside the membership tab.